Chad, first just tell us how your summer off season's gone, and what kind of outlook you have for your group.
I think the off season, the summer is going really well. The key guys have made a point of being there every day. I think we've had really good attendance and work ethic. They're showing up early in the morning, staying from 6:30 to 9:30 or so, and doing it every day. Sacrifice a bunch of the things maybe a normal teenager does in the summer to be here with us. So I've been real pleased with the summer.
What about the players? What do you guys give us some idea of what's the outlook you think you have for this team?
It's been real nice. We've got Coach McCoy back just from the offensive side, and it's kind of picking back up to my freshman and sophomore year when he was there, kind of getting back into the groove of where we were at. And like Coach Ead said, attendance has been great. Everybody's been showing up every morning, just ready to work and get ready for the season.
Yeah, everybody's getting stronger every day. We had a lot of people come out. Had to be leaders though in the morning. Everybody had to wake up in the morning and be ready to work.
And I think we finally gotten to a point where they enjoy the early morning. When we first started, I told the parents give it 2 weeks and they'll get to where they enjoy the early morning and being together and getting it over with. And our older guys have. And
I asked Pleasant Grove the same question, but for you, what's different in year two?
I think the biggest thing for me, in year one, and having been at a school for so long, I'd known the seniors from the time they were in the 4th grade, and then coming to a new school and been a long time since I'd been new to a place, and not knowing their personalities, not knowing when they show up in the morning, if something had happened the night before, not knowing what made them tick, and then I think just being with them every day since last season. I know these two guys' personalities. I know what gets them excited. I know what gets them mad, and kind of knowing that about each of the kids, and being able to sit with the staff and talk about how each kid fits offensively and defensively. What's their strength? What's their weakness? I think is the biggest thing from year one to year two.
And for the players, what's different now? What do you know about the Gardendale program and Coach Eads that maybe you didn't know or understand this time a year ago?
This time last year, we obviously knew Coach Eads pretty decently well because he'd been there about 6 or 7 months. And you knew his personality, but, you hadn't been through that full season. You had a spring game, but it's just that. It's a spring game. You hadn't been through the games, the tough crunch, all that. So how he would respond, how we would respond to what he said to us. And I think just kind of going into this year, you really understand everybody's reactions, how it's going to be, and just what's going to happen when it comes down to crunch time.
Yeah, we're a lot more comfortable with Coach Eads now. We know how he wants things done and how we need to take care of things.
All that being said, what will be different about this team this year? Because every team is a little bit different. Every program is developing. You learned a lot about your personnel, the guys that are coming back. So what will be different about this group?
I think more so than any time I've ever coached that I told them this during workouts a few days ago, that I think our offense and defense are perfect complements of each other. We're for what the style of offense we are, where we need to stay on the field for a long time, take advantage of, we need to be really good on third and 5, and being able to stay on the field to keep our defense off the field. We're athletic on defense. We're like a lot of teams, we're struggling for depth, and we're an injury away from being in a bad situation. But if we can keep our defense off the field with our offense, and our defense is rested coming on the field, I think we're a perfect complement of each other. And I want them to see that as our way of success. That our offense has to be the biggest fan of our defense, and the other way around.
And it's not like you guys are in double tight end and hot formation all the time. But it sounds like you guys do want to be able to control the ball and control the clock maybe a little bit more.
Well, I think, and when you say control the clock, people automatically think that means the run game and all that, but not. Bailey's is a weapon for us at tight end, and he's kind of a security blanket for our quarterback. He's he's the spot to go to. We know we can get a 5-yard catch, and Bailey can make a catch with a crowd around him and get away from people in there, and that gives us that security to feel good about dropping back, throwing the ball on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and then being our way of staying on the field, keeping our defense rested.
And you do have an experienced quarterback. Yeah. He might not be a senior, but he is an experienced guy. How's he developed?
Good. He's gained weight this off season. Done well in the weight room. He's got great leadership skills. And I was talking to a coach about him a few days ago, and he said, "So you really like him?" And I said, "Yeah, you don't find a lot of flaws in him. He's a great leader and a great teammate. And even though he's being recruited and he's getting that attention, he still works very hard at Gardendale football."
Bailey, how have you seen Goose develop this offseason?
I mean, just growing up with him, playing with him since I was 5. I mean, it's always been a progression. But just this summer, he kind of, saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I mean, he's just pushed even harder than he ever has. And every day you go in there, and you can just see a look of determination on his face, and just there's something that he's striving for, and that's to be the best he can for Gardendale, and then wherever he goes to college, be the best wherever he's at.
Coach, tell us about some dark horses maybe that you haven't talked about here that you might want to highlight. A few of the sophomore, freshman guys coming up.
Well, some guys that have stood out, and maybe not sophomores, but first time really where they're starters or playing a bigger role. Stephen Lewis, I think, has had a great off season and prepared himself to be a really good receiver. Kendall Fowler is kind of in that same thing. Kendall, a year ago this time, we were trying to figure out what position would fit him, and he's ended up being one of our receivers that's very dependable. He's a bigger, taller kid. Kobe Quinn is a kid on defense that stuck out to me. Just everyday work ethic and shows up every day. He's gotten stronger. Is not the most gifted athletically, but he makes up for it in his work ethic and just improving himself every day. Yeah.
For the players, how has social media changed your game?
It really got me more into many coaches. They DM me and tell me how they watch my film, because I have my film posted on my profile, and just talk to me, ask me to come out and visit and all that.
I mean, it's kind of like with anything anybody sells these days. You got to put your best foot forward, and Huddle and all that allows you to do that. Put your highlight together, send it out, and there's some coaches that'll give you just honest feedback on what you need to work with and all that. So it's kind of like you're getting yourself recruited, but you're also getting a little bit of coaching at the same time. So it's helped with, obviously getting to college, but also your game at high school.
Chad, what, if any, social media training or advice do you give your guys?
Well, I talk to kids about, and I want social media to be not, it ends up being everybody's highlight video. And I want it to be things that promote our school, community, and program. It does help our kids in recruiting. It gives you an opportunity to get their name out to coaches that maybe they're at schools who can't travel here, don't have the time here. I think it hurts us sometimes in this world where, hey, if the weather's perfect and I get the perfect parking space, I'll be at the game. If not, there's somebody tweeting every play, and I can sit at home and it's like I'm there. I think so. Sometimes it hurts us in attendance, which is the thing we depend on to take care of these guys and to travel and feed them and equipment. It starts cutting into the local team's pocket a little bit because I think it takes some people. It makes it easy to stay home and watch the game.
Players, do you guys use social media to scout other opponents? Maybe look at their highlight reels on Huddle? Or?
No, I don't really. I try to stay away from social media during game weeks.
No, we do a good job of watching film during the week, so even if we did look on our own, there's nothing really extra that we'd find that we didn't find in our meetings.
Yeah, those are always highlight plays too. There's never anything bad in those.
Coach, tell us about your kicking game this year. Where you at this season in the kicking?
Well, I'm pleased with our kicker Landon Herbert and what's his name? Kobe Thomas. Kobe's a year younger. They work well together. Landon's kind of taking Kobe under his wing, and they go out and do all their drills together. They're both very mature kids that I can Unfortunately, we don't have someone that's a kicking coach to be with them every day, so they have to be trusted to work a lot of that on their own. I think that's an area that will improve a lot, just our staff being more familiar with each other, being more familiar with the kids and knowing how to put them in the right places. But that's an area where a program like ours has to, first of all, make sure we don't lose a game, but then find a game we can win with that. And all the work on it is worth it if you go out and you can win one game off of
Who's your return man
special
this year?
teams.
Because that man can make the difference in everything.
I'm hoping this guy right here will be one of them. Derek Carter will be a young man we see there. Kickoff returns will most likely be Kendall. And then in punt returns, any yardage gain to me is a bonus. I just want the ball caught. I want to make sure. I don't care if he plays offensive line if he can catch it. I don't want the guy who's going to fumble it and give it right back. I don't want to have to I don't want the defense to get a stop, have to go right back on the field and do their job over again.
Did you guys play some instant replay games last year?
We did somewhere in the playoffs. I can't remember where.
What do you think of the instant replay?
If it can get to a point where camera angle wise, it's a benefit. I know even with the best film that we use, it's a wide angle and it's an end zone and it's not zoomed in. And I just think those plays that are, was it a catch inbounds or out? Even on Friday nights when I'm frustrated and disagree with the call, when I go back and watch it on our film, I never can tell. So I don't know how many calls. I'd like to see how many calls were overturned because it's not TV quality film. They're not zooming in with 6 cameras. It's usually 2 parents or 2 students videoing, and it's just following the action. It's not.
Seth asked about social media earlier, and for Bailey, I'm just curious. In the recruiting world for you, you're trying to get recruited as a snapper, which can be really difficult to do. Did you get a sense that social media helped you in that vein?
It did. I mean, the biggest thing that started off for me was when the national rankings came out, and that's kind of when the ball started rolling from there. And then, it just took off. But I originally started off with trying to get recruited as a tight end, and then long snapping came up, and then Stanford popped up. That was just an offer I couldn't turn down. So kind of after that, after I committed, it slowed down, but social media definitely.
And I think you told me the first time Stanford contacted you was through social media, right? It wasn't a phone call or it wasn't a call and chat. It was they simply DM'd you, right?
Yes, sir. We were on the way to, actually we were with the team on the way to Tim Tebow speaking at the Met, and I just looked down and had a message from him, and then it just started from there. And then they came out a couple of times. I went out there. And then finally they came out to spring practice and made me the offer.
Yeah.
Chad, I'm sure it helps having a senior like Jay in your backfield. Can Jay help a guy like LT Sanders in his development?
Yeah, I think so. And that's been the thing that I've talked to Jason about the most is that, where LT is he just sees it and goes there. But the play was over, and you ask him, he's just running. To where Jason has to be, he has to understand the blocking schemes, he has to understand the protection, he has to understand it a little more. But he's been around enough to understand how a running back handles himself around the lineman, how he fits in as a teammate, and it's not about your yardage and number of stats and number of touchdowns. It's about doing your job as the back, and I think he's kind of the steady, dependable guy. Then LT's the one who can make the big play, but doesn't always understand how he fits in the offense. And I think that's where Jason helps him the most.
What about Keith coming back to be your OC? Is that just a natural fit?
It was. That's Heath and I had known each other for a while just through coaching. I knew him when he and I first met. When I took this job, he had taken that job at Clay and felt like it was a good opportunity for him to kind of get out somewhere new, kind of see the world a little different. And then after my meeting with him, I remember thinking and telling our principal, I said, if I get the opportunity to hire Heath back, I want him back. And he said, well, I'll gladly take him as a math teacher. He's also an excellent teacher. And that's just been a good fit. He comes in, he's excited about it. He knows the kids, so he's got the new excitement, but he already knows these guys. He's known them longer than I have, and our philosophies are very much alike. We're able to do personnel wise what I want to do on offense, and that's what Heath is too.
How much of a help is it that he knew those guys before you did?
It's been big because he, just like me, he's not coming in trying to figure out what can Bailey do or what can Kendall and taking my word for it. He knows them, and we can sit and talk. We were just meeting, just before I came over here and talking about, hey, this guy fits this, and and he knows that. So I kind of forget he's really just now moving his things into his office, but he's just moving them back into his office.